Whatever happened to Greg? Well, he tried to do the cry stare over the hotel, just like in Thug.
Tyler told
And
me
we
to go
never
play.
heard from him again.
Rest in power, dude.
Yo.
Hell yeah, man.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, Baby Secret Jocks. That's who we are. I'm Tyler. We got Ralph.
Yo.
We got Greg.
Hello.
And that's the pod. Fun week for the NBA. A lot of stuff going on. We got trades.
Hell
we
yeah.
got the draft. We got free agency. All in the same week.
Very nice.
It's nuts. Very nice. We got Borat 2 back. So Borat impressions are relevant again. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Little bit of news, like we talked about last week, the NBA is coming back. Start date December 22nd. A new report came out today that they're only expecting about like 5 to 10 teams having fans in the stands. You got any thoughts on that, Greg? I know that also kind of is relevant to touring as well. Like,
sure.
I imagine as this continues going on, like bands will probably get that itch to go play music again, and there's only going to be a few states that you can do it in. Like, you got any thoughts on that?
Are you saying 5 to 10 teams just in not the whole NBA then? It's just
not the whole NBA, yeah. So only, about a third of the NBA is going to have fans in the stands.
Well, that's going to be weird just for like actual other teams coming in there and stuff, because doesn't it throw off their whole quarantining routine? Like if a team like Portland, if they're not having fans in and they're going to play the Atlanta Hawks or some shit like Memphis where they probably don't give a fuck, and yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't that kind of throw off their whole COVID prevention plans?
Yeah, definitely. I think it puts the teams a little more at risk. It obviously puts like the fans at risk and the coaching staff. I know there's some, older members of the coaching staff. My guess is that there'll probably be players, depending on the market, maybe declining to play in certain games because of that like risk.
Interesting. I think when it relates to touring, though, I think it's just going to be a minute. I think it's next year at the very least. Like I heard somewhere in Seattle saying that the venue is not booking shows until fall of next year already, So it's, I don't know, man. I don't see touring coming back anytime soon, but
yeah, I mean, if people are smart, it shouldn't be coming back anytime soon.
It's such a bad idea. I mean, like we're rushing things and dude, I hate that because that's going to prolong everything.
Totally.
I mean, like, write another album. Who cares? Like, you can wait to play a show. Like,
but Ralph, so I would say, Ralph, like Tyler, how often does your band practice? I practice not very often,
Not that often. Yeah, we practiced for like the first time the other day in a few months. But yeah, not that often. It's like, it's a little difficult to get together and do that kind of stuff, I couldn't imagine even like considering like playing a show at like a cafe or anything, even outdoor gigs. Like it just doesn't make sense right now.
Well, Ralph, your band Rejection Pack, I would say you're probably the most like active of the bands that we're all in. Like, how are you guys staying motivated right now? Like, because shows are the fun part of being a band, Like,
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like right now we have an album that we need to record, but COVID got the best of us right now, so we're just waiting it out, and then do that. But yeah, the creative process is just write. Like shows can wait. We all understand like what's at stake here.
Yeah,
we're not gonna be selfish and be like, yeah, dude, play an outdoor show. Like just doesn't make sense right now.
For sure. You got any thoughts on like doing like live stream shows, Ralph? I have watched a few and it hasn't really resonated with me, and it doesn't really like have that same kind of feel. But do you think that's something that like you all would do? Like, you say you were able to like do your record, and would you do like something like that to release it?
No, absolutely not. I think it's whack. I don't know. Not a fan of it.
We're live streaming this shit, but you're not gonna do a show.
It's different though.
I'm just
fucking
joking,
chilling, dude. Like,
I'm just joking.
We're not jumping around and singing.
No, I'm totally with you, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be the 4th or 5th episode when we start doing that.
Yeah.
We gotta wait to build the theatrics.
We're just gonna start playing songs. We're gonna hook them in with basketball and just start
Hell yeah, dude.
promoting our music.
Yeah, that's the big plan here.
Well,
I've just been reading basketball wiki, trying to get prepped for this.
And then just curveball, and here comes Ralph's song. Well, I will say with my band, we practiced a couple times, and like it's super fun to write stuff, but just having shows, it's the reason why you kind of are in a band. Like that shit's so fun, and not having that like in the future, it's hard to get together and be like, let's write new shit or let's work on something, because like kind of what's the point right now, which sucks to say, because obviously you got to put out music and have fun doing it. But do you ever feel that way, Ralph, like with rejection pack and shit? Or
yeah, I mean we're supposed to record, we're supposed to release this in spring or so, and I'm just like, what's the point? We can't tour on it. It's just like wasted effort at the moment. And it's luckily we're not meeting up every so and so and playing these songs, because I would be so fucking tired of these songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just wait it out. Dead Ender though, we just keep writing. We have like a 10-song album.
Damn, dog.
Just keep recycling. Like, that song didn't resonate with me last practice. Write another one. So it's just a never-ending revolving door of songs.
Sick, man.
Like something you mentioned, Greg, that I kind of want to touch base on is like you were mentioning, like practicing the songs and wanting to play them, but not feeling like what's the point when you're not like playing shows with it? Like, do you feel like these dudes in the NBA almost feel a little bit similar, where they're like practicing, they're like getting ready for games, but you're missing that like kind of excitement of play, kind of playing in front of fans. Do you think there's going to be any lack of motivation for these dudes going on the road, playing away games to empty stadiums?
I think for some of the veterans personally, like LeBron James, he just uses that to fuel him and shit. But some of the newer players and people who don't have as big of a personality, like if you're kind of shy on the court, I'm sure they don't give too much of a shit. They're still getting paid. They still got the TVs on them and stuff. So
yeah, that's true. It's nice to get paid for it.
Yeah, that is a plus.
Definitely a plus. Well, on the topic of basketball, let's talk about some trades. It's been a good day, like
day one.
Trades were day one. Trades active at 9 a.m. our time, and we started the day with officially getting that Dennis Schroeder Lakers trade. I think they sent Schroeder for Danny Green, one other person,
and Kuz, dude.
Right? No, Kuz is still
he didn't. Yeah,
Kuz survived it. So Dennis Schroeder went to the Lakers, and then Danny Green went to OKC with some more picks, of course. Ralph, who do you think won this trade?
The Lakers. The Lakers, hands down. Mm-hmm. Danny Green's on his way out, man. Mentally, and I wouldn't say physically, but mentally. That last shot, that was supposed to be the last shot, really kind of affected him. The game after. So Schroeder, LeBron loves him. You see that clip circulating right now that he was guarding him, just gave him a big old hug.
Yep.
I think the Lakers won this. They want to expand more. Schroeder. How the fuck you say his name? Schroeder.
I think Schroeder.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sounds great to me, guys.
Schroeder is great. He had that year with Chris Paul, learning all of Chris Paul's, tips and tricks of the game. So I think it's good.
I'm gonna say that OKC won this trade.
Ooh, hot take.
Damn, man.
It's a
Why
hot
do you
take.
think that?
What was
Oh, go ahead.
What was the draft pick that they got? Sorry.
It was a first-round pick. I can pull up the details in a moment.
It wasn't top 10 or anything, though.
It wasn't top 10 or anything. But the reason why, first round. Reason why I do think that OKC won this trade was because they add another pick to their arsenal. So where it stands right now between now in 7 years from now, they have 17 first-round picks.
Holy shit, dude.
17 first-round picks.
Dude, are you fucking lying, man?
I'm not lying. That's the count right now. And they plan on moving away from Danny Green. There's a good chance that they're going to get a third team involved into this trade. And he's not even going to like put on an OKC jersey. I think Danny Green has a chance of redeeming himself. I think if he hits that last shot, we're talking a whole different story. He's getting an extension. Yeah, but that didn't happen. But OKC has so much firepower in the next 7 years, whether they draft whoever they want or most likely just build a team through draft picks and trades. I think OKC is an amazing place to do a rebuild. They just got rid of Chris Paul today. They're going to keep doing some movement. It's going to be very active for OKC. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that Chris Paul trade, how do you feel about that, Greg? I think they sent Chris Paul to the Suns for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio. They also got some picks as well to add to their treasure chest there, and then some, young players as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If on this one, I kind of feel like the Suns is a weird fit for Chris Paul personally. I don't know. I really like Chris Paul a lot, but I felt like the Clippers, the Lakers would have been a great spot for him, where he could have been more of the floor general and let the offense work for him, help him control the show. But I feel like with Phoenix, he's going to have to step up and be more of the scorer. Obviously they have Devin Booker, but they got rid of Rubio and Kelly Oubre, who were fucking killing it for them, Chris Paul is going to have to step up a little bit on that end. And I think he'll be able to do it. I think he's good enough, but I don't know. I think Oklahoma City kind of won that trade personally, Ricky Rubio is fucking tight, man. And also, I don't know. I just think OKC, even in the moment, isn't going to be a bad team, they're not going to probably go to the playoffs like they did with Chris Paul, but they're going to have a solid core and 17 fucking picks. That's stupid, yeah, dude.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I do like what you mentioned about the Chris Paul bringing OKC into the playoffs. I do think, with Chris Paul joining the Suns, he's got, a borderline all-star in Devin Booker, this really crazy ass good young center in DeAndre Ayton, as long as he stops juicing. And they're in a position to re-sign Baines, who's a great center coming off the bench.
He's great too, man.
And start what's his name? Dario Saric. Yeah, I can never say that last name. They've got the money to re-sign those for those dudes for the minimum if they choose. My question is with where I'm going with all this. Do you think that Chris Paul moves the needle for the Suns and puts them in contention for at least the 8 seed? I mean, you've got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Ayton as your big three there, and the West is really stacked right now, but that's a pretty solid group of dudes. Ralph, do you feel like that pushes the needle enough for them?
Yes, dude. CP3, the point guard, man. Dude, he had a bum ass OKC team last year. I mean, he has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and who else? Stevens,
Well, and they're
good though, man. Those are good.
Gallinari,
players.
You had Gallinari, you had
those
Stevens,
are all solid,
you had
dude.
Shai, you had Schroeder, who just went to the Lakers.
All solid, dude.
Yeah, I think but they are the bench's Warriors pieces. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you.
They're good, but they're not elite.
Yeah, I agree.
And CP3 kind of pushed them to become. That's why we're talking about them right now, because CP3 did that for them. So I think CP3 going to the Suns is going to be amazing for the Suns. I mean, help Booker, Ayton, Saric, all those kids will blossom into more mature basketball team. So I think the point guard is doing his godly work, moving to a good team. So
that's fair. It does feel like for the first time in a very long time, they have a true leader at point guard. They've been running the offense through Booker, who is just a shooting guard. He's basically Harden with a little less handles. He can hit it from anywhere. It's awesome. But he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard.
I agree.
He's at his best when he's a spot up shooter. And it does feel like it's going to be, you know, a turning of the tides for the Suns to have somebody like Chris Paul, who's a proven leader. He's a vet. He can handle the ball. He can still get his shot when he wants it, but he's looking for that pass first. And I think that's going to really help that offense.
I guess comparing the two, if so would you take OKC last year with no Chris Paul, or would you take Phoenix this year with no Rubio or Oubre? Who, like, of the squad around Chris Paul, who do you think would be a better team? Like last year's OKC or this upcoming Phoenix? Because Booker's awesome, but besides Booker, they're kind of question marks, right? Like Ayton is really good, but he hasn't super broke out yet. So what do you guys think would be the better squad behind him, you know?
I'm going to say that. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say the Suns. I think it's a little more balanced team. I mean, you're not trying to run 3 point guards at once, you know? Like,
hey, sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say the same thing.
Oh,
You son of a gun, dude.
Hey, look at that. Great minds think alike. Am I right, baby?
Yeah, baby.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Suns right now are way more of a balanced team. You know, you've got a starting center, you've got a good backup center, you've got some power forwards. It seems way more balanced. I mean, the Suns almost made the playoffs, you know, as they were last year.
They should have, man, just on the principle of how good they did in the bubble, dude.
I know.
They should have had like a 9th spot for them, dude.
8-0, it was wild. Their run was so good. And, you know, if they're able to retain most of those people, minus like Ricky Rubio and Oubre, of course, like they're still going to be riding that momentum and that high. And they feel like they earned a place in the playoffs as is, and they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder because they didn't. So I'm definitely taking the Suns this year over OKC last year.
Cool, man. I really liked OKC. I really like Steven Adams. For some reason, Steven Adams is just like a player. I'm like, you fucking rock, dude. I'm a big fan.
He looks like a dude you could just like hang out with.
I know. He seems cool, man. Yeah.
He's got the long hair, like a cool beard or mustache half the time. Like he looks like someone you would run into at a show anyways. So
totally. I hope he ends up somewhere good, man. I hope he just doesn't end up like fucking, who's that dude on the Heat who's been there forever? Looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. That motherfucker. This guy has the goatee and shit. Kelly Olynyk. That dude,
Kelly Olynyk?
He's been there for like 10 years, hasn't he?
No, he was on Boston just a few years ago.
Damn, dude, my dumbass, man. I feel like he just like gets kind of lost. I do like Kelly Olynyk, but I feel like he just kind of like slips into the background. I don't want Steven Adams to just kind of fade away and just like lose his noise, because he rocks, man.
No, I don't think he will either. I mean, he's a great rebounder. I mean, he's way more of a traditional center, but there is still room for that kind of player in the NBA. But he's really mild-mannered. Like, he's not going to ask for a trade. But if Sam Presti wants to do anything for his honor, he'll move on from Adams and put him in a position where he can win. You know, he's one of the last people from the KD era there.
Yeah, he was very young when that happened.
Yeah, but he's
like
still
a baby boy.
Yeah.
Yup. Have you seen pictures of him when he was young? It's wild.
Oh, dude, he was very normal.
Yeah, very normal.
He wasn't Aquaman back then. He was like Aqua Boy for sure. It was like
got that VC and went crazy, man.
Yup. Got the beard, got the new haircut, got some tattoos.
Got buffer, that's for sure.
Yup. Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, they'll want to move on from Adams to do right by him, at least. Like, one, he's not the guy that's gonna like usher in a rebuild and help lead these young dudes. And two, like, he's stuck around. He's been a good role player. He's been a good starter. Like, if they wanted to respect him and do right by him, they'll probably move on from him. And I could see him going to a team like Boston, who needs a big that can who can operate in that pick and roll, defend the paint, and grab those rebounds and like shoot it out to someone who needs it. If I was Boston, I would be like targeting that guy personally.
Damn, that's actually a pretty good fit for that.
I don't know who they trade for him. Maybe they like do a sign and trade with like Cantor, send him back.
Hate
for
them,
one.
dude. Just like get rid of all their like stars.
Yeah.
Yup.
Sam Presti is the best GM
Yo,
ever.
17 first-round picks. He can do whatever he wants with that.
It's interesting
Literally-
though, man. It's either the best decision ever or it's gonna be fucking terrible, dude. I think it's gonna be great though, man. I do.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you're a rebuilding team who's got like one star or one dude who is on the brink of becoming a star, just needs to be in the right system. Someone offers you like 3 or 4 first-round picks for him, you're not gonna say no. And they've got 17 of those. They can get whoever they want in the next 7 years. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, that actually is nuts, man.
You think they're gonna go all in on SGA?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have to. That's such a good young talent, and he really proved himself. And like he learned from the point guard or the point god all year.
Thank you.
Sorry, he learned from CP3 all year last year, and you could really see him, and he really blossomed. Like I think the Clippers really messed up by including him in that Paul George trade, and we could tell by that shot in the bubble, that good shot from PG-13. You know, Shai would have never. He would have never hit that. He would have never hit the side of the backboard with that.
Dude, I don't care what anyone says, dude. That's a bad shot.
That's a bad shot. Yep.
I do got to say, if the OKC has 17 picks, this is the perfect time for the Supersonics to steal their fucking team back.
Yup.
And have 17 picks. And then the Sonics are on top, baby. Here we go.
Let's go. I love it. Another little trade that's kind of brewing and it looks really fun is James Harden formally requesting a trade today. And not only that, the Rockets offered him $50 million a year for an extension, and he turned it down.
Huh.
Yep. So there's two, and he put out the 2 teams he'd want to go to, and it's Philly and Brooklyn. Greg, you got an opinion on where they should trade him to?
I don't know if they're going to trade him, man. But Philly sounds cool, man. Philly sounds like a fun spot. Brooklyn would be something else, man. I don't know. It almost feels like OKC, but like trying to do it again. You know what I mean? Like being like, we
with a better
up.
point guard?
Yeah, like with a better fucking point guard. Yeah. I don't know, man. It just feels too weird, to be honest. I think if it happens, those people know a little more than me. Like he just plays such iso ball that it's really hard for me to find a team that works great with him without building a whole team around him and being like, our offense is James Harden. You know,
Totally.
I'm having trouble kind of being like watching him pass the ball and play team offense and shit.
Yeah, I mean, team offense is basically non-existent with him. I personally think where as much fun as it would be to watch the personalities of KD, Kyrie, and Harden on the court at the same time would be interesting. I think the fit works a little bit better in a place like Philly. Say if they shipped out like Simmons for Harden and probably some change on both sides, I think, you know, Harden and Embiid in that pick and roll would be absolutely deadly.
Yeah,
like,
I do agree with that.
Embiid can crash the net, but he can also do that pick and pop and like pop out to the 3. And if he's open enough, he can definitely nail that shot. Ralph, you got any thoughts about where you want to see this trade go?
Well, the thing about that is I saw a clip of Steph Curry talking to Mike Budenholzer, I think. And he was talking about James Harden. And he was like, you know, James doesn't really like playing iso ball. He's playing iso ball because that's where he got put, like when he moved to the Rockets. But he's more of a team player. So I'm kind of excited, like after hearing that, like especially coming from like the best shooter in the whole world ever, that knows team play. I mean, like
rub it in, dude.
I think that James Harden wants to go to a place that moves the ball a lot. And he can probably, you know, turn it off. Like I take back everything I said about, you know, James Harden after hearing that, because, you know, Steph might be right. Like he probably wants to play team ball, and we just never had the opportunity because the team built around him was focused for him. So if you plug him in the Nets, I think he's going to take a huge step back, and make KD or Kyrie be the ball dominant point, and then he can just run around and play the offense of that team. And I think he'll fit well with Philly because they need shooters, and he's a shooter. I mean, they have a big ass playmaker in Simmons. If James Harden moves around, Simmons handling the ball, he can find him for a three or a cut. And I'm just excited. Wherever he goes, I think he's going to change the way he plays. So thank you.
I like that makes sense. You think, okay, just to go back to that kind of Philly question there. I personally think if this trade happens, it's probably going to be with the Nets. I think they have a little bit more to offer as far as like more players and like small contracts and stuff like that. But say like Philly was the destination, most likely to make the money match, it's either going to be Simmons or Embiid. I don't think Houston would give up someone like Harden, who is a rare find, for someone like Tobias Harris or Al Horford. So the trade will probably have to involve Embiid or Simmons. If you're Philly, who are you most likely willing to give up for a generational talent like Harden? Any thoughts on that, Greg?
I would say Simmons, but I don't know what the plan of the 76ers is. I just say Simmons because I think Embiid and Harden would work great together. But who knows, like long term for the 76ers, Simmons might be the right call. Like Embiid just might not be the fit that they have long term. So I would say in this specific trade Simmons just because Embiid and Harden would work pretty fucking well together, I think.
For sure. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Oh, great. We all agree. So
that's let's just call it.
Yeah.
Call it a night. Yeah, how this podcast works is that we talk until we finally agree on something, and then we just end the meeting right away. It's amazing. We did that pretty quick. Good for us. Sweet. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that Harden kind of Houston trouble is going to go on for another week or so. I don't think we're going to see a trade right away. He's obviously made it clear that he doesn't want to be in Houston anymore. The reports were coming out that like him and KD were hanging out last week in LA, talking about him moving to the Nets. So I think the most likely the move is going to be him to the Nets, probably for something like Dinwiddie, LeVert, probably some picks, as well as Jared Allen, who I'm personally a big fan of. I think he's a great traditional center. He fucking rocks.
Sorry. I was going to say, what kind of fucking team basketball then is fucking Harden going to play on the Nets if they're giving up their team, It's going to be like fucking Irving, KD, and Harden show, and it's not team basketball.
Well, there's talk of like Serge Ibaka joining the Nets. That'd be cool. Well.
That'd be sick.
There's been some rumors. I think he's a free agent coming up. Baby. It's literally OKC coming back, baby. Sick, East Coast version of OKC. Yeah. He's gonna void his contract, take the vet minimum to join.
Dude, he's gonna join the Knicks and try and take them down and be the king of New York.
I would love that storyline so much. Like the Knicks giving up everything for for Westbrook just so they can battle Brooklyn and have Brooklyn just like sun them. It sounds amazing.
Dude.
That'll be my favorite 4-game series.
That'd be
all year.
Yeah.
You know what I thought of as well? Like, I don't think he's going to Philly because Mike D'Antoni is in Philly. Oh. And he's the guy that put Harden in that position, right?
Mike D'Antoni's in Brooklyn.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he joined Steve Nash's coaching crew.
Oh, yeah. Who the fuck was I thinking? Oh, Morey.
Yeah, Morey. Actually, there was another report.
Right, I'm gonna leave
Harden.
the chat later, guys.
Yeah, see it. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. There was a report where I can't remember who the owner of the Rockets was, but he had to plead with Harden when he learned Daryl Morey was going to the Sixers to not ask a trade for the Sixers.
Damn.
Because him, like Harden and Daryl Morey have a really good relationship, obviously, and there was speculation that Harden would follow him there, which it's still up in the air. But all signs are pointing to him going to the Nets. My final question on the Nets, and we'll move on after that, is if they are able to land Harden and piece together a bench and some role players as well, do you think that team's making Eastern Conference Finals, or not Eastern Conference Finals, the finals? Do you think they've got enough firepower on defense and offense to make it to the finals and either most likely play the Lakers or Golden State? Because that's probably what it'll be. Ralph, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, we haven't even gotten a sample size from those three. Like, I mean, Harden's not even in the team yet, but like, we haven't had a sample size from KD or Kyrie together. Like, those guys are dramatic. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, totally.
Like, the Heat has like the best team that came out from last year's, Eastern Conference. And they're really quiet right now, like I'm sure they're all working out like at Jimmy Butler's house together.
Yep.
Yeah,
they all live there actually. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's house is a hype house for the Miami Heat.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. He's just making coffee for everyone, selling it to them.
No one sleeps.
Yeah,
they're just all drinking coffee.
Listening to country like 24/7.
Yeah, listening to Big and Rich featuring Nelly.
But yeah, we haven't seen him play, so I don't know, dude. Like, there's Boston too. We can't rule them out. Philly, we can't rule them out. Like,
I think you can rule out Philly.
All right, we're ruling Philly out. Raptors. I mean, there's a lot of great teams in the Eastern Conference. They're just not as tough as the West. That's all.
I think if the Nets don't make it, it's because they lose before the fourth quarter. Like, it's just if their team isn't like a good enough bench team around them. Like, those three are fucking incredible. If it came down to clutch crunch moments, like any of those motherfuckers, Harden, KD, Kyrie, they're gonna win that game. Like, if it's close, that game's going to the Nets. But if it's like second quarter when they're on the bench and like Boston's bench is just fucking destroying the Nets and they're down 20, like that's where they might lose, So if they're giving up too many pieces to get Harden, they might screw themselves, to be honest, man. Like, LeVert is fucking dope. Same with Allen and then Dinwiddie. Like, those people are pretty solid, Like, they're all at least like an 80 in 2K, man. And that fucking that means something, dude, So I don't know.
Yeah, Ronnie's pretty stingy with the ratings for sure.
He is, dude.
But here's a question though: the faith of the world, last shot. Do we want Kyrie, KD, Harden, or someone else to take the shot?
Joe Harris, that's the fourth.
Dude, he's a solid player though,
dude,
man.
He would probably fucking make it too.
Yeah,
he probably would make it. Yeah, that's the dark horse in this.
I love that none of us had anything bad to say about Joe Harris there.
How could you say anything bad about
it? It was great. It was very wholesome. It was awesome. Yeah. You got put on the spot.
Nice guy.
Compared to Kyrie, Harden, and KD, and nothing bad was said. That's awesome.
Give him the max right now. Me personally, I'm taking KD. He can score from anywhere on the floor. He's got the height. He's a 7-footer that says he's 6'9". He can shoot anywhere. Like, I'm taking KD. We've seen him hit those shots. He's really consistent. Harden's missed it. Kyrie's missed it. Even KD's missed it. But KD thinks he's the best, and I'm gonna take that confidence.
Okay.
Two-time world champ, dude.
That's true.
Yeah, dude. Besides Joe Harris, I would go with KD.
Damn.
Because I trust him to make the right play. Now, if the attention's all on KD, that would leave, Harden open and Kyrie open. In terms of, if they were moving, and they're great, spot up shooters. So KD will make the right play, just like LeBron did, passing it to Danny Green. But if you put Harden instead of Danny Green there, oh man, they would have won earlier.
See, my answer might be just because I haven't seen KD play in a year, because I just don't I know he was like incredible with scoring, but I don't remember how good he was outside shooting. Like, I know he's probably phenomenal, but if it's a 3-point play and they need a 3-pointer to win, I'm gonna give it to Harden or Kyrie. But if it's just like you need a basket to win the game, that's going to KD, because he can finish at the rim and he's so strong up there. But again, I haven't seen him play in a year. So like I might watch game 1 and be like, I fucked up, dude. It's KD.
I'm still thinking KD. He can shoot deep threes, man.
Yeah.
Like he's a freak, He's an absolute freak.
Just
I'm
like that
excited to
shot
see it
over
again.
LeBron, dude, in the finals.
Yup.
Right in his face, dude.
Yeah.
The dagger.
That potential team is really scary though, because you're in those like final minutes, like KD, Harden, or Kyrie can get hot and they can score.
Totally,
they're all 3-level scorers. You know what I mean? And like I think that's something that's really tough in that situation is like, okay, so let's just say KD is hot, right? So you decide to double team KD. Well, then you leave either Kyrie or Harden open. Like, how do you defend against that? You either do that man-to-man and cover everyone and just let that hot scorer score, or you give up like a shot from like KD, or you give it, or Harden, or Kyrie.
Joe Harris.
Honestly, that's a good point though. Like if he's on the floor too, like that dude is deadly from beyond the arc. Like it's really tough. And like the way that the NBA is trending right now, like extremely good offense beats great defense or legendary defense most of the time. If someone can shoot a 3 from 27 feet with a hand in their face and have it be consistent, like that's going to beat like the best defense all the time, and you've got 3 dudes that can most likely do that. I don't know how you beat a team like that who is like on a streak,
That really hurts me when you said that, dude. Like our 2K team.
We're all defense, dude.
Yeah, dude. We're
all fucking defense, man.
That's true. That's why we're losing.
Shit, dude. Shut up, man. Don't fucking say it on air, dude.
Yeah, dude. We're amateurs, dude. Amateur silver. We're good.
Challenge us and meet us in the pro-am. Let's go. But for real though, I mean the generational offense, like those 3 dudes will beat lockdown defenders no matter what every time. And if you got 3 of those dudes in the crunch, all shooting well, it's over. Like there's no chance.
I'd be interested to see a team like, this is a fucking potential hot take, but to see a team like go in 100% on defense the way that some teams are going on offense right now. Could you imagine that? Just like a fucking wall of defenders just locked down. Like,
oh, you mean the Pistons, dude?
The Pistons?
I guess, man. Like something like that would be cool to see again.
Not right now.
I mean,
like,
not right now.
Not the Pistons now. No.
But I feel like that's what the Clippers were trying to do this year. Like you've got a good defender in Pat Bev, you've got Kawhi, you've got Paul George, Montrezl Harrell sort of plays Zubac. Like they have like probably a team of some of the best defenders, and they still got beat. Like Jamal Murray, Jamal Jordan showing up.
Maple
blowing
Jordan,
a 3-1. Maple Jordan. There we go.
Yeah, dude. Like the beginning of the season, I was all in on the Clippers. I was just like, yeah, dude, they're fucking scary, dude. All those guys. Apparently, offense beats defense.
Dude, the media just takes things in such a funny way because just Kawhi winning the chip gave him like such a legendary status, and he's phenomenal, but just the status of having a chip under him recently like that put him like on such another level,
Definitely. I think it was for sure a case of like recency bias with Kawhi, but he is a Hall of Famer for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
And an incredible talent. I think they just didn't build a good team around him. With like Kawhi going to Toronto, it was way more of a plug and play situation where they had good culture and they had a good team and a good bench, and they just kind of, fired at all cylinders. And then Kawhi was kind of like the NOS in the tank, like was going to push them even further than they needed to go. But with the Clippers, it felt like, okay, we're going to build this crazy ass good, like defensive team, and you're putting Kawhi on an 8 seed, where I can't remember what Toronto was before he joined, but it was, top 4 at least. difference in leadership too. Like Kawhi's not a natural leader. He's not the dude. He's the dude you give the ball to so he can score, but he's not going to lead that team.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Paul George was supposed to be, right? Right?
What team has he ever leaded?
Leaded? Pacers, dude?
Pacers. Yeah, I mean,
Danny Granger, him, and Hibbert. I'm like, dude, that was deadly. He led that. Then broke his leg after.
But was he like? Do you feel like he was a leader though? Like he might have led the team in like scoring or stats or whatever. But do you look to him to pull the team together?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I did.
You would?
Damn.
I did. Yeah, for sure. Until he got traded. I don't know. Like that team, that Pacers team was deadly. I mean, they were giving LeBron like headaches, dude.
That's true.
Nightmares, dude. Like they were good.
I don't know. For some reason, the Pacers have always like, even with Paul George, what were they, 4 maybe in the East? They didn't go super high in the East. Like they weren't pushing number 1 anytime. Like they were just high middle of the pack team. It seems like, you know, even with Oladipo, like they're fucking good, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're just in that middle range where they're like almost like where the 76ers are, but the 76ers are fucking one thing above them.
Yeah, and I've noticed that like ever since I started watching basketball when I was a kid. Like Pacers was a good team always, but they're never like they don't have enough to take it to the top.
Totally.
And
I think there's something you can kind of like attribute that to market size as well. Like I feel like
that's fair.
I feel like Portland's kind of suffered from that as well. Is that for the most of the time they're like a pretty decent team. Like they're in the playoffs. They can be a thorn in someone's side, but they don't have enough to ever really push it over the edge. And the only time you really have that is when you're able to draft a generational talent. Like Cleveland is a good like example. They were able to snag LeBron. That's a mid-market, small market team, but because they had LeBron, it brought them over. But with like Portland, it's a hard place to attract free agents. Same with like Indiana. Like who wants to live in Indiana when you can live in Miami or you can live in LA, or, you know, you can pay less taxes and live in like Houston or Dallas, you know? I feel like these teams like Portland or Indiana have a hard time like pushing it to the next level because of their market size, and they kind of don't benefit from like the areas like LA or Miami or even New York City. Like somehow every single year there's a good chance that New York or the Knicks like are able to pick up a free agent that's amazing, but it's because they live in New York, you know?
The pressure. It's too much.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's ever a thing that the NBA will do to kind of counteract that, you know? Like if there'll be something where if you're a smaller market, maybe you're offered a little bit more of a salary cap or something, because it is kind of skewed, you know? Like, and that is getting to a point where it's, as a fan, not 100% fun all the time, you know? Like you don't want to see the all-stars always going to LA or Miami or where it's fun to live. Like you want the teams to be even, you know? And like I think the lottery is a really good thing they do to kind of even out that playing field. But I wonder if they'll ever do something that makes it so a team that's a small market that's not getting the chance to be in the lottery, if there's anything they'll do to kind of incentivize. Does that make sense kind of?
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think, you know, that would rock, dude. But you know what? I don't think it will ever happen.
You Golden
State
I don't think so. Dude.
I mean, I don't. As a small market team fan, like I don't see it happening either. Like it's not going to affect the amount of money coming into the league, no matter what. Like those big markets like Golden State, New York, LA, Miami, like they're going to bring in more than enough money into the league that makes it worth it to keep it the way it is. But I would like to see that. I'd love to give a chance for Portland to snag a big free agent, or like Indiana, or like even Milwaukee. Like they're in a situation where they might not be able to keep Giannis because he might move to somewhere where he can make more money, and they're able to attract like the players that'll fit better and have more talent and whatnot. You know, teams like that who do snag someone who is as good as Giannis have less of a chance of retaining him than if like Giannis was drafted to like the Lakers and they were able to develop him like he is, you know? But it is just part of the game, like it's just how it goes.
That's why we need the Sonics back.
Yup.
Yeah.
Big market team in the Northwest. Let's go. So draft is on Wednesday. It should be an interesting draft. I think mainly because no one is really that interesting in it. So we may
Fuck.
Well, here, let me get to my point here. I think we may see a little more movement, as opposed to, like we have a generational draft where the number one pick is the number one pick. And you want that spot. If you have the pick, you're going to keep it. But because we don't really know who's going to be the best player in this draft, mainly because of COVID, and we didn't get to see a lot of draft workouts, didn't get the tournament, which usually is a good kind of like testing area to see how these dudes handle the pressure of a big stage. We didn't get any of that this year. So it really is up in the air. So this draft could go anywhere, which is really interesting. We may see some more trades throughout the evening and whatnot. But what I'm most curious about is if we see Minnesota take the number one pick or if they trade it. And Ralph, if Minnesota keeps that pick, who do you see them drafting?
I think they'll go with Edwards. He has a very good transition game. I feel like Minnesota is kind of lacking of that. It seems like they always like to slow things down. I mean, he's not going to be like a LeBron type where he like changes the team, but a little bit of a spice onto something might give them that game that they're missing or that skill set they're missing as a team. I think they're going to go with Edwards. I don't think LaMelo's going to go there. They already have a good point guard in Russell. LaMelo feels like just too much attention, a lot of noise. And I feel like Russell and Cat, they're going to hate that. But
for sure. I feel like I think Edwards is the natural pick for Minnesota. He's a shooting guard. He likes to be the primary ball handler, but he can shoot as well. He's got draft comparisons to Victor Oladipo, Eric Gordon, Dion Waiters. He could be a spot up shooter. With someone like D'Angelo, that's kind of what you need, is someone who's just going to stand in the corner or stand on the wing or move around a screen and catch the ball and shoot. With LaMelo needs to be the primary ball handler, or else he's useless. He's not going to just stand there and wait for the ball and frankly do anything. That being said, this is going to be a fun question for you, Greg, because normally I would send this over to Ralph as our resident Golden State fan here. But what do you think Golden State's going to do with that second?
All right, Ralph.
No hints, Ralph. You got to stay quiet on this one. But yeah, do you think they keep that second pick, or do you see them drafting someone? And if so, who do you think they're going to take?
I personally think they're just working out the kinks to find a big person, to find a big man for their team. So I think they're going to take James Wiseman as number 2. But I think if something comes along where there's a trade that gives up that number 2 pick for a different big man in the league, I think they might do that, but I just think that's the hunt they're on right now, is finding a solid big man for their crew, whether that's number 2 or trading for it. It's just what their team seems to need.
For sure. Ralph, I'm going to bounce this back to you then. Would you rather, what do you think about that? Also, any thoughts on bringing Kevin Love into the mix?
Ooh.
No, I'm not even thinking about that. They're going to either do one or two things. They're going to take James Wiseman, or they're going to trade. Yeah, that's what you said. That's
yeah.
Right. Or they're going to trade that pick for the number 6 pick and Aldridge. I saw that circulating around. They were also looking at Obi Toppin, which is the 6th pick projected. And he is a power forward that can defend. And Warriors, like other teams, like to build defense around their offensive powerhouse of, the Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
So they might do that because they will get a big in Aldridge, and Obi Toppin is 6'9". Nice. And yeah, he'll be tall enough to play the 4. I mean, Marquise Chris is also there, so a lot of people think that they need a big guy. I don't think so, because Marquise Chris showed last year that he can play big, and he can also stretch the floor sometimes. So I think they're just trying to get Aldridge to get Marquise Chris onto the next step up, because Marquise is super athletic, grab those rebounds and blocks. So
for sure, I think if they're gonna keep that pick, they're gonna go with Denny. I think he's a good defender.
Hey, guess what? He's also 6'9".
He's 6'9", baby. He's got a good wingspan. I think you put Marquise Chris in there as your big man, or you even put like Kevon Looney. Both dudes that have played with the team for a bit, they got a good feel. I think someone like Denny is someone they can kind of train under, Draymond, and can kind of become that kind of player in the future. But I personally don't see them keeping that. I could see them trading the 2 pick for a star somewhere.
That's kind of my first thought, though, to be honest, is that
because they got enough young players to build, and they can grow. Like, they're in a really good position to just reload here.
And they're well rested from last year. I'm so fucking stoked, dude.
It's so unfair.
They need it, dude. They've been winning nonstop. So.
Oh, come on. Greg, you got any wish lists for the Magic in this draft, or even in off season? Like, what do you want to see them do around draft night, and then whether it's trading someone or picking up a free agent? What's your dream scenario?
Well, I just think the Magic needs some shooters, So I think they need to get rid of Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon's got to be traded off this offseason. I don't know for what. Evan Fournier just opted into his player option, so that means he's probably staying around, which I'm okay with. He's not my favorite player on the Magic, but he at least is a good enough scorer to kind of like not completely tank them, So I think trading Gordon for a scorer would be fucking dope. But one person in the draft who I really like, and I only fucking like this guy because I saw some Instagram videos of him, and he looked fucking sick, man. But Nico
LaMelo. Oh.
No, it's not fucking LaMelo, dude.
Did you see his 100-point game in high school?
Sick, Nico Mannion, or he's on Arizona. But he's projected at 25, and he's like a pass forward guard, but he's great at shooting too. He would be fucking great, I feel like, for the Magic. But I feel like whoever they go with has got to be just a shooter, I don't know. They've drafted fucking long-armed defenders for like years now. So just get a fucking shooter. That's all I need.
It's like the exact opposite of what the Blazers done. For the last 3 drafts, we've just been drafting like guards, and then this year little. I'm gonna shoot this over to you, Ralph. As a Western Conference rival, what do you want to see the Blazers do?
Ooh, damn,
but
dude.
Keep it positive, though.
Good answers only. Nice answers, dude.
From a pure basketball fan's perspective, what do you want to see the Blazers do on draft night and going into trades and free agency?
What's their pick right now?
They have the 16th pick, and then also early second round as well.
Seriously think that they're a great team. I'm trying to be nice. I love Dame.
Thank you.
A great album. Listened through half of it. Great album. They don't need shooters, I don't think. I think they need team players and defenders. CJ and Dame, they play super ball dominantly. They need someone. The 16th pick is Kira Lewis Jr. Have you heard of this fella? I haven't. And apparently he's a cutter. I mean, that's what, they might pick him. But I don't know. I haven't studied a lot of Trailblazers lore and narrative
the lore of the Trailblazers. I love
for
it.
Sure.
But
I love that.
I just want them to succeed. I want them to be actual rivals with the Warriors. Whatever they do, they gotta keep Nurkic. They gotta keep him. Obviously, Dame. and someone good at the wing.
So this is gonna be mean, but are they supposed to be rivals? Golden State and Portland?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I've never heard that before.
I
but
think the narrative of Dame being from Oakland.
That's a good narrative, though. Yeah.
Him not being picked by the Warriors. Yeah, I think he created that rivalry.
I like it. I like it.
This is as a Blazers fan, this is my wish list. As much as I love CJ, we got to ship him out. And I would love to ship him out for Drew Holiday.
Shit, dude. I was like, you were going to say Gordon, dude. I was like,
Drew Holiday. Man. I mean, he's a fucking solid all NBA defender who can guard 1 through 3. He can still score. My dream is that we ship CJ out for him with that 16th pick. And then in the second round, we draft Peyton Pritchard from the University of Oregon, baby, a 4-year player, one of the best college point guards. He's just a facilitator. He's similar to TJ McConnell, where he can still score. He's a little undersized. I think he's only 6'1", maybe 6'2".
Not nice, dude. Not nice.
Not nice, but you're not looking for him to score points. You're looking for him to feed the rock to the shooters. But if you leave him open, he can score like it's nothing. And I think that would be a good, someone coming off the bench for Portland is a facilitator like that. Also, hometown hero. He's from Lake O, baby.
That part's sick,
so,
man.
Yeah, he is. He's been Oregon his whole life. He went to high school in Lake O, was a good recruit, played 4 years at University of Oregon, Eugene, and then stepping on the court from the Blazers. It would be sick. Great storyline. I would personally love to see it.
He's a total homer is what you're saying.
Yep.
Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, hopefully he gets it.
I hope so too, man. You got to keep it in the house, man. That shit's like a fun storyline, dude.
Yeah, it would be real cool. I mean, I do think Peyton Pritchard will get drafted somewhere because I think he does have value. He'll never be a starting point guard. He'll never be the dude you rely on. But he's similar to TJ McConnell, where if you need a little boost in your offense, you need someone to facilitate coming off the bench. He's gonna be that guy. And I think having someone like that in Portland would be solid. I think Portland had a lot of high hopes for Anthony Simons. He hasn't really developed. He has poor shot selection, but the upside's there. He's very capable of it, but I don't think he fits in to the win now kind of thing. He didn't go to college. He didn't spend that years. He kind of did the JUCO route. So it's been an interesting experiment, but I think if he goes to somewhere where it's the team's building a little bit more and they can kind of train him and get him ready, he'll flourish. But Portland needs someone coming off the bench that can facilitate that a little bit more. And I think Peyton Pritchard would be a better fit for Portland than Anthony in this time.
Cool.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they don't need a point guard right now.
No. Well, I mean, they need one on the bench. I mean, we've seen Dame play the whole game, but it's not practical. They do need a point guard off the bench that can facilitate that second unit, and they don't really have that right now. You're not going to run the offense through, Gary Trent, right?
I would, dude.
He's a good spot up shooter. If they make the pass to him, he'll score, but he's not going to be the primary ball handler, and they don't really have that right now with Anthony.
Yeah. Well, what I see Portland do is when Dame is sitting, CJ is the one taking over.
That's what I thought.
That's true.
Too. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so he's basically the bench point guard.
Dude, I think that's such a smart move, man. Is just having two different leaders, bench and starting. But I don't know. I think it's super good. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they need to stagger those minutes a little bit more with CJ. If they weren't paying him $27 million, I would just say make CJ your Lou Will. Have him not start, man. Be the dude that jump starts the offense with the second unit. But we're paying him too much to make that worth it. So I don't know. I think that's where Portland's at right now. I think they need to trade CJ for either a proven defender like Drew Holiday or for a really solid wing.
Ben Simmons, dude.
Ben Simmons, baby, the best shooter in the NBA.
No, he's a good defending wing, though. I mean,
no, it's true. It's true. And
they need shooters over there, so
Ben Simmons would be a really solid fit with the Blazers, I think. Dame plays off the ball really well, especially, with CJ's bringing it up. Like, he's good at cutting around that perimeter and getting an open shot and nailing it with like a person in his face. Ben Simmons could bring that up. He's a good passer. He's got like LeBron style passing for a big guy. He would fit in with the Blazers really well. Does that trade happen? I don't think so.
Never.
I'd like to see it though. It would be fun. Like, Ben Simmons can defend. He would probably flourish a little bit more in a system where he has really good shooters. But it ain't happening.
Yeah, that trade's unfortunately not happening.
All right, so let me bring this question though. Are the GMs the one that's preventing us from seeing great basketball? Just saying.
The GMs?
Yeah, all the GMs. Like, he won't trade this because, we're paying him way too much, blah, blah, blah. Where they can flourish in a different system and we can have the primo basketball. Just saying.
I think it's the owners. Because at the end of the day, like, they probably will have the final say. Like, they're controlling the money. The GMs are just doing their jobs and probably getting like their orders from either the president of basketball operations or above that. I do think the GMs are a little bit at fault because, someone like Neil Oshley in Portland isn't likely to do the kind of crazy ass trades that we want to see, like Daryl Morey's down to do. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to what ownership wants to see with their team and how the money is coming in and out. And if you've got your money tied up in someone like Dame and CJ, you're probably going to say, well, I invested like this much money and I want to see a return, and I would rather stick with this than trade it away for, someone who may not be as good or develop.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think the most recent case of that would probably be like Steve Ballmer and the Clippers. Like, it's not very direct, but he put so much money into that team and them not like clicking the way, or getting as far. Like, he thought they were going to go much farther. Like, he immediately fired the coach. Like if you have that much money tied into something working and it doesn't work, like, you're kind of fucked, so that's not really on point, but it's kind of a tangent of the point, so
I mean, that was only a big what if, guys.
For sure. Something that I've been thinking about for a bit here, and I would really love to hear some opinions on, is who do you think the best bald player in the NBA is? I feel like there's been a resurgence of, these grown-ass men losing their hair and owning it and rocking it. And I think there's some sort of correlation between accepting that you're losing your hair with the freedom of playing just a lights out basketball. So, Greg, I want to hear who you think is the best current bald NBA player.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm willing to hear balding as well,
Thank you for that, dude. Thank you.
But you got to make your case on it.
Okay, I'll make my case, man. Okay, so the best for balding. For bald players, I think that's a time of the past, personally. I think the 90s were like real fucking shiny ass head. That's where that's where that shined, There's a fucking pun on that bald shit. But best player balding, it's gonna go either LeBron or KD, but that's like the first obvious answer. It's like they're both balding, they're both incredible, they're both the best players in the NBA, probably straight up, But I have two fucking people who I want to fucking give a shout out to, just for the best player with the baby hair, who's got baby hair. That's got to be Trae Young. Because that dude looks like he popped straight out of the womb.
Dude, that was
a good one.
Thank you, man. And then I'll let you guys guess this one. Receding hairline. Who do you think the best fucking dude with like hardcore receding hairline?
KD.
Joe Ingles.
That's my fucking dude. It's Joe Ingles, man. It's Joe Ingles.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah, those are my two shout outs, baby hair and receding hairline. But I think best you gotta do the obvious, LeBron or KD. They're fucking they're the top.
That's fair. I had Joe Ingles on my list because he looks like he's from a rec league and he's going to light you up, baby.
Totally, dude.
You're going to show up at the YMCA. Joe Ingles is going to show up and say, hey, I got next. And you're going to say, oh, this dad,
Yeah.
this dad thinks he could ball. He thinks he can put buckets on my head. And yes, absolutely, Joe Ingles can put buckets on your head. And he's probably saying something like "crikey" the whole time. It's amazing. Joe Ingles is my guy.
He's fucking wearing his like Air Monarch with like grass stains all over it.
Absolutely. It's amazing. He's fresh from cutting the lawn, like from the lawn to the gym. That's Joe Ingles. I'm going to go with an obvious one here as well. Obviously, the bald eagle himself, Alex Caruso, the Lake Show, the reason why they won the championship. He's got to be on the list somewhere, right? From the
there, dude.
From the G League to the Larry O.B., Alex Caruso. And my final pick for my top three finalists.
Say it.
I'm going to say it. It wouldn't be a Secret Jocks podcast without mentioning this fella, Jared Dudley.
My guy. There it is. Fuck yeah.
Yup. Look, he's got to be on the list, right? I mean, with how quick he can pull off his track pants, from talking shit to Ben Simmons, the king himself, the NBA champion, the NBA Finals, 14th man, Jared Dudley.
Love it, man. Dude. We aren't worthy.
Ralph, you gotta cap us off here.
Dude, you guys kind of fucked my picks up, man. I had Trae Young, my number one, the Caruso, Jingles, LeBron, KD. But I went off a different route. I went off with past basketball players.
Ooh,
okay.
And greatness is a very subjective thing. So first, Corey Brewer, right? Receding hairline. We're talking about Widow's Peak, bigger than Cape Cod. And rest in power, Nate Thurmond. He was a Warriors legend, the chairman of the boards. Balding, receding hairline, starts right here.
Hell yeah.
Age 22, dude.
It's rough,
That's
dude.
a sad man. But
I'm glad that he made a lot of money and went to the NBA, because if he didn't have that job, that would suck to be balding at 22.
But like I said, greatness is a subjective thing. So, past basketball player, I'm picking Charlie Villanueva. Now, now he has alopecia, which makes him great because he also helps kids understand why they have alopecia and help them with confidence. So I think that's the greatest thing that you can give to someone, is confidence.
I like that, man. That's the goat.
That's fair. He's living proof that if you are above 6 foot and have alopecia, you can also be in the NBA.
So yeah, I'm just giving big ups to CV, dude, Charlie V, wherever he might be. I'm sure he's still alive, but I don't know where he is right now. So
he's chilling off those NBA checks, baby.
But yeah, he helped kids, and I love that.
I'm
a father, so that touches my heart, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck.
Well, four 90s players then. Shaq, MJ, Barkley, and then the Sonics motherfucker, Gary Payton. Those are all bald players, right?
Yeah, but the biggest one, Kobe, dude. He used to have a huge mane of fro, dude, and then he just shaved it, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
Baller.
I respect that. I'm taking past player for balding, Kevin Garnett. Because anything is possible. Most inspirational NBA quote ever. Anything is possible.
I love that.
AG, best ball player.
Dude, that dude talks some shit, and I'm all about it.
I love it, man. He was a psycho. Absolutely psycho.
Is that the guy from Uncut Gems?
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's Adam Sandler, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
shit. My bad, dude.
Also,
the best PG.
Best PG, Adam Sandler, man. He can for real hoop. That's someone who will show up at your rec league and put buckets on your head, and you're not going to expect it.
Super baggy pants, himself. Dude. Baggy shirt.
Yeah.
Just like
shorts down to his chins. Yeah, he can hoop.
They should just swap out him and Joe Ingles for a game and see if anyone noticed.
Yeah, because Joe
Honestly,
Ingles will be producing more if you put
Yo.
Adam Sandler in, dude.
what they got to do is bench Mitchell, start Adam Sandler. That backcourt of Joe Ingles and the Sandman. Who's stopping that? Who's stopping that?
Sandman. I love
Putting
it, dude.
everyone to sleep, dude.
Yes, sir.
That's a
Well-
sick ass nickname.
Yeah, right. My boys, I think we did it.
We did it.
Another
Fuck
episode.
yeah.
Episode. We did it.
2.
So we're on Spotify now. We're on Apple Podcasts. We've
Yes,
got
sir.
YouTube. In the
Yeah.
future, we got that Twitch going. Hit us up on Facebook. We'll get that LinkedIn. We'll get ZipRecruiter going as well. We'll be on the socials. Anything you two personally want to plug before we call it a night?
Ralph, you go first.
So this Friday we're gonna do a live stream. We've never done it before. We can't record the night before, so we're gonna fucking struggle through the live stream. I'm pretty stoked.
Hell
about it.
yeah, man.
Technical difficulties and all.
That's
Yep.
what's up.
So celebrating free agency. So we'll be reporting on anything that we see come in, and whatever else happens that night.
Yeah. Well, my Instagram, it's StuntmasterG. We have a email address open up for us. If you guys have any topics or anything that you think would be fun for us to cover, shoot them our way, because we're just kind of brainstorming this shit and we're just spitballing and it's fun as hell. But if there's anything that sounds fun that you want to hear us talk about, send it our way. We're on Twitter. Tyler's the one kind of generating the memes and running that show. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, tweet at us and yeah, say what's up, man. This has been fun. And Friday we're gonna do some live streaming.
Yup.
Yeah, and the questions could be basketball or music or whatever the fuck you come up with.
Whatever. We'll also accept your best pictures of Jared Dudley in our email as well.
Thank you
So-
in advance.
Yeah.
So thank you in advance, to everyone listening who's also a Jared Dudley fan. Jared Dudley, if you're listening, send us a jersey or something.
Dude,
secret
no
Jocks.
lie though. Like if someone like photoshops something really sick of Jared Dudley, we're gonna put it up. We're gonna put it up right
Oh,
here,
yeah.
dude. Spread
Absolutely.
that shit around.
Almost more than a Jared Dudley jersey, I'd want like the sweatpants that he ripped off real quick, like the track
Oh.
pants. That's worth way more than a jersey, dude.
Big fan.
I'd even take a lesson in the technique of him pulling it off.
It's like a
I
YouTube tutorial or something.
Yeah, that seems very useful. So if we could get that going as well, that'd be great.
I want him to teach me how to grill better. So
For sure.
Here we are.
That
I
seems
bet he
more
makes
like
a mean burger.
I was about to say that almost seems more Joe Ingles territory, but I'm sure he could help as well,
Well,
dude.
Joe Ingles would be putting the shrimp on the barbie.
You're right, dude. Shit.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We'll catch you on Friday for the live stream.
Peace, y'all.
So long.
Okay, we're not done yet. Fellas, ladies, we just got a big trade news going on. Milwaukee Bucks finalizing deal to acquire Drew Holiday from New Orleans Pelicans for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and 3 first-round picks.
3, dude. Holy shit.
Ralph, what's your reaction to this? How do you feel about this?
Dude, that's nuts. I mean, we just finished and here we're back. I
Yo-
mean, like Drew Holiday, he was a hot commodity for everyone. That's nuts. Eric Bledsoe, though, like I can't even think about it right now.
And George Hill.
And George Hill, who?
Yup.
Just like that video of like
Eric Bledsoe
Snoop Dogg.
and George Hill and 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And 3 first-round picks.
Damn.
Do you think the Bucks gave up too much for Drew Holiday, Greg?
Dude, if I can be honest, I don't know much about him. Like I really know everyone in the Bucks, and they're fucking awesome, man. Like Drew, he better be really good, man. Because
Dude.
like he's on the Pelicans right now. He said the Holiday,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I fucking know it as Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and fucking Josh Hart, and then Zion Williamson. Like, has Holiday been hurt the last year, or
Yeah.
No, he
has
hasn't been hurt. Oh,
No,
has he been hurt?
I
Oh, I
think
didn't
so.
know
Yeah.
he's hurt?
Yeah. That's why he's not playing. yeah.
Interesting. I just haven't heard of him this last year, man. Like, I don't. That sounds like a lot they're giving up, man. That sounds like a lot they're giving up for the Bucks.
I mean, he's an all defensive player. He can facilitate, he can shoot, he can score, like he can defend the perimeter. He's a good player. I was just saying, I wanted him on the Blazers. But it looks like the Bucks beat me to the punch. Do you think this is enough to keep Giannis happy though?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Giannis will be happy there. You know where he will be happy though? Sunny California. The Warriors.
I think he's gonna go to sunny Miami, baby.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I thought you were gonna fucking drop the sunny Portland, man.
Nope. What sun have you ever seen in Portland?
It's just for the fucking. It's just for the flow of the words. It doesn't have to mean anything.
That's fair. There's been one sun in Portland ever, and that's Dame's son, Westbrook. Let's go. Bringing it back.
Dude, you fucking roasted his ass, man.
Dude, my phone's blowing up because of
You
the
need to make a
trades,
little-
man.
You need to make a little fucking screen grab of that, like 10 seconds of you saying that, and just at Russell Westbrook. Just fucking see what the fuck he says. Dude.
I'm gonna make the
Nothing.
cut.
Hell yeah. Well, once again, for your secret jocks, we just had to chime in one more time because what a crazy trade. I can't believe I didn't get the post notification for that. But peace and love and good night.
Later.
Goodbye, y'all.